Now we're going to show the final match of the Brookside Scotch doubles tournament that was taped in June. So stay tuned, and it is exciting.
All right, here we go in our championship match of the TV2 Scotch doubles. The qualifying took place at Brookside Bowl in Newark, Delaware. And this is Shelby Rivera. And she'll be bowling with her hubby, Wayne, and she opens up gangbusters for the Rivera couple, Jules.
Yeah, she got a nice free swing, throws the ball pretty direct, looks pretty tough.
They will be opposed by the qualifying leaders, Kathleen Klein, and she'll be partnered with Lawrence Dolan. Kathleen, she hits the pocket.
Pretty good shot, too. I was watching her in practice. She seems to use a little bit too much muscle with her arm, but that was a pretty good one.
Now here is Larry Dolan. Larry is from, well, I guess that's Newark, Delaware. And he is going to cover the single pin. And now it'll be Kathleen bowling on lane 4. The bowlers, of course, sometimes in handicap events, Jules, are not used to bowling the pro format. But they're going to get used to it now.
Yeah, well, that's normal.
Kathleen lets it fly, and she has left her partner, Lawrence, a very difficult.
That ball was pretty close. She just didn't get a break on any mix.
We're going to call Lawrence Larry. Larry's 33 years old. Average is about 162. Not a bad-looking lefty, though. Good extension.
Yeah, pretty good. Good shot, too.
And he gets a round of applause, and a well-deserved round. Now here is Wayne Rivera, our first shot at him. The Riveras finished in the qualifying second, but then had to defeat Wayne's mother, Betty Rivera, and another relative, David Rivera, in a qualifying match to gain the TV finals. The single pin has left the 5-pin for Shelby.
Looks like she should make short work of it. Almost missed it.
Now, as far as handicap is concerned in this match, a 16 pins advantage for the team of Kathleen Klein and Lawrence Dolan.
If you'll watch Wayne swing the next time he's up, he seems to want to control the whole swing, and that's the quickest way to get in trouble.
Shelby and Wayne have been married for about 10 years. They have one child, a little girl who is 10 years old.
It looks like a lack of concentration. That was a pretty easy spare. She could have got it.
Now a little bit about Kathleen Klein. Kathleen is only 18 years of age. She's from Newark. She's a file clerk for the DuPont Company. Goes left, goes Brooklyn, and gets them all.
She looks more relaxed now than she did in practice.
Well, evidently when the lights go on for real, she bowls better. Larry is single. And as I said, is a 162 average bowler. Gets a little bit too much on it and runs.
Yeah, he works the ball a little bit too much. He doesn't take full advantage of his legs. He doesn't get him outstretched as much as he should. He lets his trail leg follow him to the foul line. He works too much with his upper body.
What about his height, Jules? A lot of bowlers that are tall really have to compensate for their height.
Well, it might be a little bit of a disadvantage in balance, but if you can maintain your balance, you can have an advantage with the extra ball that you can develop because of the long arm.
Kathleen and Larry have taken a sizable lead. Well, actually, it's they've expanded from a 16-pin handicap advantage to 26 pins, and Wayne pumps one in the pocket. And that will help the Rivera team.
Yeah, it looks like it's about 15 pins apart right now, which is about the handicap.
So we go to the 5th frame, and Shelby will lead it off, trying to score a double for the Rivera team. And she is in the pocket, but leaves the 7.
With that nice, easy swing of hers, she should keep a lot of balls in play, which will make them a pretty tough team.
Now, Wayne is a lefty, and he's got the 7-pin, Jules.
Well, it has to be tough. It's tough for him as a right-hander shooting a 10-pin, but it looks like that's not the first one he's ever shot.
No, he covers it very easily. And through 5, the Rivera team with 80. Kathleen and Larry with 95, but they, of course, have an open with that 95 pin count in the 4th frame. Larry pounds the pocket. They all fall for a clean strike, and we'll be back to continue our championship match in just a moment.
Attention all TV2 bowlers. All TV2 champions will receive this beautiful plaque as a memento of their victory. This plaque was specially designed by Athletic Awards for our TV2 tournaments. Athletic Awards is located in the First State Lanes building and also goes under the name First State Trophies. We would like to thank Athletic Awards for the beautiful workmanship on these plaques. Come on out and win one in one of our tournaments this weekend.
All right, the Scotch doubles here on TV2 continuing with Kathleen Klein trying to give her team a double, and you could see that one skidding all the way.
Yeah, she's another way. She just doesn't use her legs. They both have the same problem. This team both have the same problem. They don't use the muscles in their legs to half of their normal advantage. They just try to do too much with their arm.
And almost a full rack for Larry to shoot at, and he is going to leave the 3 and the 5. And that will cost him his team. They were working on a strike in the 5th. Now with that open in the 6th, they total out at 121.
Makes the game really close. It's within a pin.
Shelby Rivera going to the Brooklyn side and gets a strike, and that helps.
It's exactly a pin apart now.
So Wayne will be up on 3. Wayne is up on 3. He was looking back in the crowd for some directions, but now he's on the leadoff. The fellows are used to playing anchor, but now they're on leadoff. And we have a double now as Wayne strikes. And now Larry and Kathleen have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, that gives the Riveras a 9-pin lead.
As I mentioned before, Kathleen's still a teenager, just 18 years old. And her ball seems to be skidding on her somewhat, Jules. I mentioned that before.
Yeah, she grips the ball a little bit too hard and tries to steer the ball with her arm. If she would let it swing and get her legs into the motion, her legs should go down the next to last step, and that would enable her to develop a little more momentum, which would be converted into the ball.
Larry covers the spare. If you had to take a guess at Kathleen's average, what would you think it would be?
135 or so.
Well, you missed by 5 pins. That's a good guess. If you were at a carnival, we'd give you a Cupid doll, I guess. 140 is her average, and she's just slightly off the pocket, leaves the 5-pin for Larry to pick up. Larry, living in Newark. Let's see where he bowls at. He bowls at Price's Corner in the Wednesday Night Men's League. He's been bowling for about 20 years.
He looks like he could be a lot better than his 160-some average with just a little bit of practice, maybe a little bit of direction.
Well, you know, he's been bowling a lot of years, but I wonder how many nights a week he bowls, Jules. That could have something to do with it.
Yeah, one night a week or even 2 league nights really don't give you a chance to improve. You have to practice. You have to work at it. It's like anything else that you do. As soon as you start guessing at something, you're in trouble.
The Rivera couple, there's a good look at Kathleen and Larry talking over strategy. The Rivera couple coming down from Oxford, Pennsylvania to take in the qualifying that was held at Brookside Bowl. They won their semifinal match over, as I mentioned before, Betty Rivera and David Rivera, 170 to 155. Shelby very active. She likes sewing, softball, volleyball. Averages around 144. That was a nice straight ball.
Yeah. She looks better than her 144.
Through 7, the Riveras with a 9-pin advantage. They did mark in the 8th, and they're gunning for another mark here in the 9th.
They're about a mark ahead.
And they continue to stay a mark ahead as the cover is made by Wayne, Kathleen Klein, and Lawrence Dolan, top qualifiers with a 676 total, including handicap at Brookside. Kathleen trying to put one in the pocket and get them all to go, and she does.
Better shot. That was her best shot of the game. Pretty free.
The 9th frame foundation strike, which is, of course, a big key. And now it's up to Larry on the front end to try to make it a double and put some pressure on the Riveras.
Got a break.
And he didn't even see it. He had turned to walk away, didn't see it. And Kathleen has got to finish out our 10th frame here.
Kathleen and Larry now have a 3-pin lead.
Now with that strike, that put Kathleen on the front end again. She's going to try to give her team a triple. Can she do it? No.
If this spare is converted, Shelby and Wayne are going to need a double.
So Kathleen and Larry have come from behind here and have put the Riveras in trouble. And he covers it, and they're going to close out with a better than deuce total.
208.
208, including their handicap.
If Wayne and Shelby get a strike and a spare, they'll have 207, so they need 2 strikes.
All right, let's see if Shelby can get the first one. Pressure ball. No.
Pretty close.
Well, it was in the pocket, but Shelby only uses, as you can tell, a very light ball, and the deflection is...
Well, it was really a good shot for a 140-ish bowler to throw the ball that good when she needs a strike.
Well, the champions are going to be Kathleen Klein and Larry Dolan.
Millions of people bowl, and they must enjoy it, or they wouldn't have made bowling the greatest participation sport in the world. Bowling, however, is most enjoyable when you're at the top of your game, and you can't. Brookside Bowl.
I'm Rita Justice with the Bowlers Gazette, and tonight's show we're going to be bringing you some more tournament action that was filmed in June. This time it will be the 9-pin no-tap Scotch doubles, which was held at First State Lanes, the qualifying. And this is actually a battle of the sexes, because in first place we had the women, and they consisted of Krystolpolski and Jean Camponelli, and they will be challenged by the men's team of Paul Markland and Markland-McNeil. After this word from our sponsors, we'll be back to see who the winner was.
In our championship match, Jules, this should be an interesting championship game. It's a 9 no-tap Scotch doubles. Have you ever bowled in a 9 no-tap Scotch doubles?
Yes. It usually takes 270 to win. Because anytime...
Well, there's one strike.
That's right. All you need is 9 for a strike, so it's real easy to get 8 or 9 strikes.
And that strike was thrown by Krystolpolski, and she'll be teaming up with Jean Camponelli. They're going against this gentleman, Paul Markland, and Markland-McNeil. Now the handicap advantage by some 18 pins goes to the ladies. Going for 9 pins, and we've got another strike. So both teams open up with strikes, and now it's up to McNeil to get up on 3 and bowl a strike. Now before we have a problem here, it'll be McNeil, thanks to our director, Gary Trumbore, who straightens this complicated situation out. Glenn McNeil from Bear, Delaware. Paul, his partner, is also from Bear, Delaware. their neighbors down in that neck of the woods. He'll go for 9. Oh, my. Didn't get 9, didn't get a strike.
You have to shoot that one. If you leave more than 9, you got to shoot it.
This could be a real fun type tournament for the high average bowler who's always leaving a single pin.
Yeah, if you have a no tap tournament with 10 190 or better type shooters, you have to have 298, 300, something like that to win.
Well, Paul went by it, leaving the 2 pins, and they open in the second frame. Glenn-McNeil, his partner, watching, and now this is Jean Camponelli. Jean is from Newcastle. She's going for 9, and she's not going to get 9. That ball runs on her.
Yeah, that was, she looks much better than that. She looks like a pretty decent bowler.
Well, her average tells us that she's a 165 average bowler.
She looks at least that good, but not from that shot, but her form looks that good.
Krystolpolski is a 148 average bowler. She'll try to cover the spare. Looks good, and yes!
Yes, big break there.
A late falling 9 pin. That gives them a mark in the second frame.
This is also the first ladies against gentlemen match I've seen.
Yes, it is. I happened to mention that before we were on the air to the 2 teams, and they couldn't wait to get it at each other on the lanes. Oh my, that's a toughie.
Yeah, Jean seems to be the mainstay of this team, and 2 errant shots.
Now, Ann and Jean were the top qualifiers in the tournament that was held at First 8 Lanes in May. Paul, Markland, and Glenn-McNeil finished 3rd, but they won their semifinal match against Shelby and Wayne Rivera. Now here is Ann Krystolpolski.
It's going to even it up again.
And she goes open, and through 3. Well, I'm having a little trouble reading their total.
Yeah, it's a little hard to read. Looks like about a 10-pin lead for the ladies.
Now here's Glenn-McNeil trying to cut into it. Goes Brooklyn and gets a strike because he got 9.
Okay.
I just love this tournament format. 9's a strike. I get a lot of 9s.
Well, the 9s are pretty easy when you need 10. All of a sudden, when you only need 9, you get a lot of 8s.
Absolutely. We've already seen one of those. Now, Paul Markland, who has been bowling for about 13 years, carries a 188 average. And he is going to get, well, there's that 8 you were talking about.
Yeah. Paul looks like a pretty good bowler. His form is pretty good. He works the ball a little bit in his hand release. He probably has too much of a grip on the ball, and his follow-throughs are in front of his body a little bit.
I like the shirts that the guys are wearing. They have their names on the back. I think they got specially prepared for this match.
Yeah,
and he runs by.
That was a shame to miss that easy spare. Gives him.
But pin-wise, through 4 frames, 59 for the men. And the women have a slight advantage because of that handicap.
Yeah, about 30 pins right now. Good shot. A little high.
Leaves 7, and that means that her partner, Ann Krystolpolski, will have to shoot for it. Ann lives on Allister Drive in Wilmington.
It actually looks like Jean has the best form on the pair. Good balance, good swing, good follow-through.
Ann has been bowling in league play for about 10 years, going for it and cannot get it all. Leaves the 10 pin.
Yeah, it's a shame. She muscles the ball too much. She has a very calculated swing, and she tries to do all the work with her arm. She should let the rest of her body get into it.
Now through 4, they have a 19-pin advantage, 78 to 59 in the 5th frame on 3. This is Jean Camponelli. Can't get up to the head pin.
She must just be completely disoriented because she looks so much better. I can't imagine her throwing that many bad balls in a row.
And her partner now will try to cover it up. And who's coming up now as an outside interest is works in the Volunteer Fire Company Ladies Auxiliary. That's when she's not bowling. She leaves a single pin.
The next time Ann comes up, let's watch how she carefully places her arm swing all the way through the swing, and how that stopping motion of her arm swing dictates the position of her legs.
All right, Paul Markland here in the 5th frame. He gets 9, and that counts as a strike, and we'll be back after this timeout. Glenn Holmquist along with Dr. Bowl, Jules Falcone. This is our championship match in a TV2 9 no-tap Scotch doubles. And it's the men against the ladies this time around. This is Glenn McNeil from Bear, Delaware, trying to give his team a double. And he lost it. We lost the picture for a moment. He lost the ball for a moment, and it went in the channel. And it's going to be up to his partner, Glenn, to bring it back.
I'm sure he's not too happy with that. It didn't even look like a very bad shot. He must have just lost the ball off his hand.
And excuse me, it's up to his partner, Paul, to bring it back. That was Glenn who lost it in the channel. Now here goes Paul, trying to get them all now. And they go open as he leaves 3 standing. Even if he had gotten 9 on that second ball, of course, it would not have counted as a spare, because you need 9 on the first ball to get yourself a strike. Jeannie Camponelli is married. Her husband's name is George, and she has a little gal, Melissa, who is 2.5 months, trying to get 9.
It's about 24 pins is the difference. Looks like Jean is starting to aim the ball.
And the gals have the upper hand in this match. The men, through 6, have a total of 83. It looks easy, this 9-pin no-tap, but it's not that easy.
Not at all.
Just 2 is the count for Ann Krystolpolski. Ann's hubby's name is Gene. Gene and Ann don't have any children. She's been married for 11 years.
In the qualifier, they shot 796, which is almost 200 pins over.
And now they can't buy 9.
Yeah.
Neither team.
Yeah. 796 is about almost a 270 average.
And with only 25 pins handicapped, 75 total. So they shot 720-something or close to it in the qualifying. Ann Krystolpolski gone for a spare. She can't get it. So after 7, the gals have a grand total of 101. The men after 6 with an 83. So Glenn McNeil could help his team here with a 9 count.
Yeah.
In other words, a strike count.
A couple bad frames by the ladies gave the fellas another shot.
And Glenn takes advantage of it. He'll count a strike with that 9-pin total. The 9-pin left standing, but in 9-pin no tap, 9 is all you need for the strike.
Len, I don't remember. Have we had one real strike yet?
No, we haven't. Do you deduct pins when you get a real strike? No, I know you don't, but that would be an interesting type tournament itself. If you get 10, what would you get? There's a double with that 9-pin count, a 5-pin left standing, and the men are starting to put it together, at least getting the 9 counts.
That gives them a 10-pin, 12-pin lead. The ladies really had them on the ropes, and I think they're letting them off the hook.
In the 8th frame, Jean Camponelli up on 4. Let's follow her ball down. She's not going to get 9 that way. You got to at least hit the head pin to get 9.
Yes, she hasn't hit the head pin yet, and it's really a shame because she definitely looks like the best bowler on the pair.
Now it's very vital, if this team is to get back into the match, that they cover this spare. 4 pins, the 1, 2, 4, 8. Can Ann get it? Yes, just sliding the 8 out. And now it's up to her partner, Jean, to get a strike. They need a strike desperately here in the
Yeah,
ninth.
they need 2 of them because they're 12 pins down, and if they get 2 strikes, that'll put them within 2, and anything can happen. But if they don't get 2 strikes, they're in trouble.
Let's see if they can get 1. Can they get 1? No. They haven't been able to buy a strike. They started off with a strike, and since then it's been nothing but trouble. Got a 9 count on the first ball, and after that, nothing. And the men have definitely taken the upper hand. A little extra concentration.
Good spare.
She covers it. 3, 5, 6. And the men come up in the 10th frame with a great opportunity to put them away.
Yeah, 9th frame.
Excuse me, 9th frame.
2 marks would put them away.
And Glenn goes to the line with some authority. Doesn't count 9, though, and leaves a makeable spare, but a tough spare.
It gives back a lot of count, too. So that brings the game back to, if there's an open here, it's going to make it another toss-up in the 10th frame.
The ladies with 118 through 8 and a spare in the 9th. The men with a miss. And through 8, the men now count a total of 124. And of course, now with the miss, they have 130 in the 9th. So the women are right back in it. In fact, they've taken the lead.
The lead, yes, sir. I guess I'll have to save my chauvinistic remarks.
Well, I don't know whether they were chauvinistic or not, but the men get back into it with a 9 count. But they need to strike out here to put the pressure on the gals.
Yes, sir. Have to have a strike, or all the ladies need is a spare.
Now the winners here in the championship match will receive $140, the men $70. So there's more than just, shall we say, the women against the men at stake here. There's some money on the line too.
Dollars. Everybody understands dollars. No matter if you're man or woman.
And there's our first real strike.
Yeah, how about that?
And now it'll be up to Glenn to try to make it a closeout finish.
If he gets at least 8, he will force the ladies to throw a double.
And if he gets 9, he gets them all here in our 9-pin no tap. Trying for 8, and he gets 8.
Yeah, so it gives them 158. If the ladies have a spare and a strike, we have a tie. If they get a double, they win. If they don't get at least 20, they lose.
Well, I guess you've made that very cut and dry.
Strike is a must here on this ball. Has to be. It looks too wide.
And the men are going to walk away with the title. The ladies, well, they gave it back to them.
I really think they gave it away because 158 and no tap, the ladies were just trying to be nice.
Well, I'm sure the gentlemen will appreciate it. As Krystolpolski tries to make a difficult spare, doesn't, and the gals are going to finish up with a grand total of 142 to the men's 158. We'll be back to talk with both teams in just a moment. Quest here with our runner-up teams in the TV2 Scotch doubles, the no-tap variety. I found that very interesting. To my immediate right is Krystolpolski. Did I do that okay?
Right.
Pronounce that pretty good?
Yes, you did.
And Jean Camponelli. And I was kidding you gals before the start, just a couple of good old Irish gals, right?
Very
What
Irish.
is Krystolpolski?
It is Polish.
It's Polish, and Camponelli I know has got to be Italian.
I'm Irish. It's Italian.
Oh, okay. You're Irish and it's Italian?
Yes.
Your hubby must be your husband. Oh, what was your maiden name?
Simkis.
Okay. Jules, they came in second, but I know that you remarked over and over again about one of the ladies' forms. Would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, I thought that Jean was the best bowler on the pair, and she really surprised me by making every shot poorly.
I was nervous.
You were nervous?
Very.
She just didn't trust herself. She's probably been practicing for years, working, and she comes out here and didn't trust her own swing.
Well, I threw the first ball away, and after that I was afraid of it. And I got, scared of the hook, and I was afraid of it after that.
Did the lights and stuff bother you?
No, I was surprised it didn't. I concentrated on my mark, which I didn't hit very often, but I really concentrated on the lanes, and I didn't even notice the lights.
Jules, do you have something for him?
Yes, I do.
We have some checks. The runner-up prize total is $70. It's not the big prize, $140, but maybe better luck next time.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to bring up our champions now. Fellows, would you like to come up and join us? And the first thing I want to do is ask you, you must have gone out. You must have gone out and got yourself prepared for this match. The shirts, I love them. Where'd you get them?
We got them to jean scene, or the shirt scene, excuse me.
We're going to give them a free plug, but did you do it specially for the show?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. We love it. This gentleman here is Paul Markland, and I didn't know your nickname was Duffy, Glenn. Glenn-McNeil. Glenn, let me ask you, first off, the ball that got away from you and went in the channel, did it hit your leg or something?
No, I got a bad habit of throwing to the outside, and if I ever throw my hip out, I automatically get in the gutter. I've been doing it since I've been bowling.
Well, you fellas both got 9-pin counts, which count as a strike in the 9-pin no-tap tournament, and then you finally got a strike when you really needed it. The gals had you on a run for a moment, though.
Yeah, they sure did.
Does it bother you bowling against the ladies like that?
No, not really. There's some good women bowlers.
Jules, any tips that you'd like to pass along?
Yeah, Paul, you seem to be a little bit too tense. You have to relax yourself and let your follow-through go square. It seems like most of your follow-throughs all end up in front of your face, which means lack of trust, too much tension in your swing.
A little nervous out here.
Yeah. A little nervous. A little nervous. Do you have something for them? We have some winner's checks.
Checks first. I know they're more important.
Okay. Each gentleman receiving $70 and our TV2 championship plaques. And gentlemen, we certainly hope that you'll join us again in another TV2 tournament. For Jules Falcone, this is Len Holmquist. Until the next time, remember, do your bowling at a TV2 Fun Center.